Okay, this is part 2 of the video. Yesterday I spent all day cleaning out the garage, but now it's onto the fun bit, the build. As you can see, I'm trying to reuse what I can from the garage. There's a couple of bits of MDF. The wood I'm using it's well past its best. It's a little bit bent, but I'm sure I can straighten it out. What tools will I be using today? For measuring, I've got my set square, ruler, pencil and tape measure. For cutting, I've got my trusty plunge saw. It's one of the best bits of equipment I've ever bought. It's basically a saw on rails. It can cut really nicely, really straight. I've got my screwdriver, and as an optional, I've got my little router to tidy up the edges when I'm finished. Of course, a secret weapon of the British build is the cup of tea. Okay, first I'm going to cut the edge off, the bit I don't need. So this old bit of wood, got a couple of holes in it, I'm not going to need that. Just use my set square to get a nice right angle. I'm going to use my trusty plunge saw. I'm unfortunately on the wrong side. Nice lovely right angle. Now I've measured my garage. The slot I'm going to use is about 155 centimeters. So let's just measure that off and cut the end off. 155. It's about that. So I've got my bit of wood now. It's a bit bent. As I said before, I'm going to straighten it up. It's now 155, which is exactly what I want. Just need to find the middle. So it's about 20 centimeters. So I'm just going to measure 10 off each side. Nice line down the middle. So this is the bit where you decide how far apart your rods are going to be. I'm going to go for about 10 centimeters, which will give me space for like 15 rods, which is plenty. And then I'm just going to mark every 10 centimeters. Keep it nice and simple. This bit's probably going to be the hardest, drilling the holes. MDF is quite easy to cut, but not so easy to drill with this drill bit. So I've got a nice 44mm drill bit. Maybe could have used a bigger one, but this is all I've got, and I'm trying not to spend too much money on this build and just reuse what I've got. So here goes. Just going to drill halfway through and then go from the other side, because it's easier to take these bits of wood out. It's always a little bit awkward with these drill bits. Bits of wood get stuck in there. Luckily there's a couple of little holes here. You can just tap it out. Voila! Starting to look pretty good. Now I've got a nice bit of wood with lots of holes down the middle. Next bit, what I'm going to do is slice this down the middle. Use my trusty plunge saw. Get a nice straight cut. Absolutely superb. So the next bit I'm making is the size. It doesn't need to be very high, very tall, so I'm going to go for about 80. I'm going to cut from this side straight. nice right angle. It's one side. Oh, second side. So before I get too much further, I'm going to rotor the edges off with my trusty little rotor. As I said, this is completely optional, but it'll just make it look like a really, really nice finish. Some nice rounded edges. Let me just show you. So all the edges are pretty sort of sharp at the moment. So what I'm going to do is clamp the edges down. Nice and steady. Okay, here we go. And going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so I keep talking about straightening these bits of wood. So as you can see, this is a little bit bowed. It'll still work. It's a bit rustic, but not ideal. So if this was straight, I wouldn't have to do this bit. So basically, what I'm doing, I've got two smaller bits of wood, and just going to screw that on. And it'll make this bit nice and flat. So what I've done here is I've just clamped this on, drew myself a line, and I'm just going to put some holes every second sort of rod spacer. You don't need too many. I'm just going to do a little countersink. Basically what that means is going to drill a bigger hole and then just screw a screw in. It's got a nice box of these 35mm screws. I'm just going to do a nice little pilot hole just to make it easy to screw in. Yep, beautiful, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. This bit's probably a little bit tricky doing solo, so I'd recommend getting a hand, but I've prepped my holes. Let's give it a go, see what happens. It's the first bit. Gotta make sure I don't drop it and ruin the whole thing. Super. So that's the top bit of the rod stand done. Okay, this bottom bit's probably a little bit critical and tricky. So what you want to do, you don't want to have it exactly on the end, and you want to bring it in just enough so your rod is standing upright. Then we're going to have a bottom bit, which is going to be an angle. It's going to be down here, so when the rod rests on, it goes tight against the bottom bit and keeps it level. So I've just kind of positioned this with one screw just to make sure it's right, and then just going to screw the rest in. Get my set square. There we go. So this line is the top. It's about 18mm. So we want to screw around about there. That's the end. Another one about there. Again, just going to drill a couple of pilot holes. Then my countersink. And let's get a couple of screws in. Brilliant. So I've got left now is this little kickboard at the bottom, and this is it from the back. So bottom of the rod, I'm just going to try and give it a nice 45-degree angle. On inspection, that kickstand bit of the rod stand is a little bit flimsy, so I've just got another bit of wood. This one's a lot thicker, a lot wider, 2 centimeters by 20 centimeters. So just going to cut this to the 155. All that effort, might as well just do it, finish it off properly. Otherwise, it's just going to snap off as soon as I start using it. Okay, I've lined up my bigger kickstand, drilled some pilot holes in. Just going to get this lined up. See if I can screw this to the left hand so you can see it properly. Perfect, I'm not happy with that. Okay, let's give that a try. So this is one of my bigger rods, sea fishing rod. It's got a big fat end. I'm going to try that first. Perfect. Rod number 2. Beautiful, nice and straight, plenty of room to grow. Let's have a look what else we got. Got some nets from the boys that they use sometimes. Look at that. So this is one of my nets. Full extend it. Goes in perfect. Thing of beauty. So all that's left really is to give it a light sanding, lick of paint, put it in the garage, job done. Okay, moment of truth. The garage is pretty tidy now. I've tidied this bit here for the rod stand, measured it all out. Let's see if it fits in. Oh, it's a little bit tight. It's actually turned out a lot better than I expected. Just needs a little bit of paint. I'm happy. I might just trim these edges down here. It looks a bit weird sticking out. We'll just sort of taper that off a little bit. And maybe at the bottom. Rod stand's looking pretty good. After putting it in the garage, I decided just to shave a little bit off here. That's only because there's like a little wall, and it'll just make it look nicer, but apart from that, it's pretty good. So just going to unscrew these bits on the end, do a little cut, bit of sanding, paint it, and put it in the garage. Most of this is made from MDF, so I've got some primer. It's a bit of an old paint pot, but I hope, fingers crossed, it still should be okay. Just going to roll it on. I tend to find that makes it look a lot nicer. Just going to put some top coat on. What we got here? Hard wearing acrylic eggshell, white again. Just put a coat on of that, finish it off. I'm really happy how it's turned out, well worth the effort. Hopefully we can keep this nice and tidy. What I ended up doing in the end, put an extra couple of shelves down here. The rod stand's a bit higher than anticipated, but I needed the extra space. Got some wellies down here. Got my fishing equipment here. some extra bits and pieces, plenty of room to grow. The old important rod stand, nice and high up on the wall.